Well, and I think there's something. I think that what's interesting about this idea is that this is idea about three girls who knew each other when they were young and were friends and are now adults and probably wouldn't be friends if they met organically at this point in their lives. However, you've known each other your whole life, so there's this obligation of, I guess we should still be friends. And then what does that really, what happens then? And I think that's interesting, because I have friends in my life that I've known for a long time, and I'm not necessarily as connected to as some other newer friends, but because I've known them my whole life, you're like, oh my God, I want to have them in my life, because you have this history, and they know different parts of you. And so I think that we get under each other's skin, because we've known each other for so long, and we really know what we can do. I know certainly what I can do to get under her and Geraldine's skin for sure, and I'm going to use it because I think that's more interesting. And I actually am trying to get them to be, especially actually all of us, including myself, to be more honest. And I think what's interesting, actually, not to speak about anyone else's character, but about my character, is I think that you learn the least about Lena in all of these episodes, and I think there's a reason why. And I think it's not as simple as it may seem. And when I even read it, I was like, it's so interesting because there's less about her in terms of who she is than the other three, although she may be outwardly the most kind of abrasive or the most verbal, like her attitude may appear otherwise, but you know very little about who she is. And I think that's in terms of if this is going to be more, that's where I'd like to kind of go in terms of figuring out who she is. I mean, I have ideas about that, but I think that's interesting. None of us are one-dimensional. They're all elements of each that aren't any of those things, but all of those things. And I think that's why people are excited. You don't see that kind of writing that often. And
I think that's very true.
I think
the
people want, because
on.
Generally there's like sweet, smart, this, that, whatever, and you may, in a sense, if you want to sum it up, try to do that, but you can't, because she's more than one thing. I'm more than just a rebel. She's more than the sweet, kind of smart one. Michelle's more than there's so much going on with every one of us that is really great. And I think you want that kind of writing, and you want to push the boundaries of what you might normally see, especially with women.
Well, I loved it because we would show up, and it turned into this thing where we would show up on set, rehearse. Yeah, like we didn't intend for it to be this way, where we would show up and rehearse for the first half of the day, break for lunch, and then basically shoot the rest of the day. But
we had lots to figure out.
Yeah, it was always, and then it just turned out by like the fifth day, and, we were just like, all right, let's rehearse all day. Yeah, it was just the structure at that point. But a lot of it was us helping each other figure out what was going on and breaking down the script and figuring out what was funny and what wasn't funny. How can we make it funnier? There was like one day where, remember when we were like just like looking up different names for druggies, drug terms and stuff. Just like what's funniest, and then just like pitching it to one another.
And we were just like, let's just do it and see what reaction we get. And so we just played. It was almost like the whole crew and us, we all kind of figured it out together because we all wanted it to be the best it could be. And then we shot it a gazillion different ways. Yeah. And that's why I think seeing it, I said to Tanuj, I said, I have no idea what you're going to pick.